G'day all and welcome back to Freo Faithful for the preview of our massive Friday night clash against the Brisbane Lions at Optus Stadium. This is as big as it gets. Some people have been dubbing it the biggest home and away game in our history. It's going to be the biggest non-derby home and away crowd we've ever had. Now, I can't obviously remember the full 30-year history of the Fremantle Football Club and all the big games we've had in our home and away seasons. But certainly in my lifetime, this is probably the biggest I can remember, aside from a final. This is huge. I mean, Friday night, 4th versus 5th, top 4 on the line. If we win, we give ourselves a really good shot of finishing not just top 4, but potentially top 2. And if we lose, we give ourselves a really good shot of missing finals. So both ends of the spectrum, this top 9 is incredibly tight. No matter what, next week's game against the Bulldogs is going to be huge. But if we win on Friday night, we lock ourselves into the finals. So that's one equation. But the other one is if we can secure a double chance for September, that just, increases the possibilities of how far we can go. Now, I'm very happy the fans can get ahead of themselves and enjoy all the possibilities of top 4, top 2, whatever. But I really hope the players are staying locked in because Jails mentioned it in his press conferences a lot before, that we sometimes get caught up in the moment. We look too far ahead. And we just need to, not caught up in the moment, but we certainly, get too far ahead. And we sort of, think about outcomes rather than the process that will get us there. So the fans, we can say whatever we want. I really, really hope this playing group is just super focused at the task or on the task at hand. Now, we've made the one change. Isaiah Dudley has been omitted. Corey Wagner comes into the team. Very, very happy with this. I think Duds with a preseason going into 2026 is going to have a really big year next year. Obviously, he still could play towards the back end of this year. But yeah, he had a really poor game against Port Adelaide, and welcoming Corey Wagner back into the team for the first time in 3 weeks is huge. I'm hoping he'll be able to do a tagging job on a guy like Hugh McCluggage. You probably would usually go to a Lockie Neal, but McCluggage is probably the guy that could hurt us on the outside, and he does his work equally as well as on the inside. So, very nervous about what McCluggage will do, but Corey Wagner's a massive in. Brisbane have made 4 changes. So Tom Duda is out injured 1 week after coming back. Henry Smith, it's Devin Robertson and Will McLaughlin have all been omitted. Coming in, Ryan Lester, Brandon Starcevich, Sam Day, and debutant Luke Beacon. Interesting changes. So obviously, Ryan Lester and Brandon Starcevich massively help their back line. There's a bit of a debate whether Darcy Gardner, who's listed in the full back line, will actually play forward and Sam Day might go down back, or if it will just be Sam Day as the third tall and Darcy Gardner lining up down back with Harris Andrews and Ryan Lester. Going to be very, very interesting to see what happens there. They've got a few swingmen that can do those roles. But Sam Day doesn't necessarily worry me. Yes, he brings a presence, but in the 2 or 3 games he's played for Brisbane this year, he hasn't done too much. Now, I will say, I went to Brisbane Open training in Adelaide earlier this year, and Sam Day is one of the nicest people you will ever meet. So I'm not hoping he has a good game, but I don't want to discredit the career of Sam Day and what a man he is. Anyway, back to the Fremantle fan channel content. Luke Beacon, halfback on debut. He's been playing very well in the VFL from what I've read. And he looks promising, but to be honest, I'm not too worried about a debutant called Luke Beacon coming over to a hostile Fremantle atmosphere. Now, I'm a bit wary that round 2 against Sydney, Riley Bice kicked a big goal for the Swans. That was his second game of AFL football ever. So these young halfbacks tend to have an uncanny... there's not really a habit, it's just Riley Bice I can think of. But a young halfback has done this in before. So I'm not going to go too easy on Luke Beacon and my thoughts on him. But I'm really convinced he won't trouble us too much. He's been named on the bench with Levi Ashcroft, Sam Day, Sam Marshall, and Bruce Reville. So interesting to see what Brisbane's sub will be. I'm expecting probably Sam Marshall, but they also might give it to Beacon. But from what I've heard, Brisbane fans are quite happy with his inclusion. So 4 interesting changes. Obviously, Ryan Lester and Brandon Starcevich, huge. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Day and Beacon. They don't necessarily worry me too much. Now, the injury list has been one big talking point of the Brisbane Lions. They're missing Noah Answorth, Kadeem Coleman, Kyle Lohman, Lincoln McCarthy, Connor McKenna, Lockie Neal, and Jack Payne. So they've got a lengthy injury list. Those guys are all best 22 players. You could probably argue, despite Kitty Coleman's, limited football this year. We know how good he was in the grand final last year. And our injury list is very short. If we're talking best 22 guys, Sam Sturt you could maybe make a case for, but the 2 guys that have actually played this season, Matt Johnson and Hayden Young, who are on the injury list, 2 big bodies. That void's going to have to be filled by Jagger O'Meara, who's done it in recent weeks. Neil Erasmus did it last week against Port. And then Nat Fyfe, who'll be the sub. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how we fill that void. We did it last week, but that being said, we probably didn't do it perfectly. O'Meara tried to play attacking role on Butters, got burnt, and we conceded 8 goals in the second quarter, just being smashed in the midfield. So as a whole, we won the clearance battle against Port Adelaide, but it's certainly something we've got to clean up against a really good midfield. Even without Lockie Neal, they've got so many different dynamics that go through there. The big body of Josh Dunkley, the clean ball usage of the Ashcrofts. Hugh McCluggage can hit you as well on the inside as he can on the outside. Jared Berry goes through there. Zach Bailey, Cam Rayner. They've got so many different dynamics that go through that midfield that we've got to be careful of. I've just mentioned Zach Bailey and Cam Rayner, and they primarily play half forward, and that's one of their biggest strengths. Sort of their high half forwards, pushing into the stoppages and into the contests. That is one of our main visible weaknesses, and it's getting an extra number at the contest, and it's always allowing in the past 5 or 6 weeks in particular, when we've been getting smashed at contest, allowing the extra number from half forward to push up and give the opposition another number. Now, whether that's the job of Jordan Clark, Carl Warner, Corey Wagner, Heath Chapman, whatever halfback is playing that role, it's likely Jordan Clark or Carl Warner most of the time. Then we've got to get an extra number at the contest, and we've got to lock down on guys like Zach Bailey and Cam Rayner, because they love to push into the middle. That is how they play their best footy, the Brisbane Lions. They play it through those halfbacks. So their strength playing into our weakness is a massive threat, and we absolutely have to look to fix that. Another thing I've sort of identified that's crucial is the inside 50 entries. Now, you look at the Brisbane Rebounders, Dane Zorko, Jasper Fletcher, Darcy Wilmot. I've watched a lot of Brisbane footy this year. We actually haven't played them since round 1 last year, but I've watched a lot of Brisbane football, and I can't really remember who got us last time, but these 3 will get us this time if we're not careful. They'll punish you if you let the ball hit the deck and you allow them to attack. So we need our mids to be delivering the ball with ultimate precision to JT, Nev, and Vossi, and we need them to have big days at the office. And our forward half pressure just must not let them rebound at all costs. And it probably helps. We've got probably the best tools in the league at creating forward pressure, but that's mainly the task of Switter, Bruce, Freddie, Shea Bolton, those types of guys, to really not let the Zorkos and the Fletchers rebound and create scoring chains for Brisbane, because it's something Sydney limited really well last week, and it's something Sydney did really well last week as well. Sydney's game style at their best is very similar to us at our best, and I thought they brought that last week. It was the handball chains through the middle, moving the ball quickly. Now, obviously, we tend to sometimes go in more straight line patterns and try and wear teams down. I wonder if we're going to go into that mode of just quick handball chains and try and hit the lines through the corridor, because we can't wait for the scoreboard to just dwindle and for us to come back again at 3/4 time. We really have to get a good start on the board, and we certainly can't concede a second quarter like we did against Port Adelaide, against a quality opposition like Brisbane. Don't let their form guide confuse you. Yes, they've just dropped out of the top 4, and yes, and we're now in the top 4, but there are some weaknesses in our game that they can really exploit, and I'm really nervous about that. They also travel extremely well on the road. They've only lost 3 of their last 20 games away from home. So all the stats are playing into their favour. Now, the last time I tipped us to lose was the Sydney game at the SCG. Unfortunately, I was right. I'm actually going to tip Brisbane here. This is completely with my head, just thinking about the game. My heart says Fremantle by 25. We stake our claim on the competition, on the top 4. We actually move into the top 2 if we win this game. But For some reason, I just feel like their half forwards are going to catch us off guard. I hope we've identified it, and I hope we've actually got the guys that can stop that. Like Jordan Clark and Carl Warner, I really trust them as footballers. So I trust that they will be able to stop Bailey and Rayner. That being said, they've got so many other weapons that can hurt us. I hope we can beat them in the middle. That's another thing. You know, Josh Dunkley might do a roll on Sarong, who had 46 touches last time against Brisbane. But then Corey Wagner hopefully will do a roll on McCluggage. So might be a bit of a tagging game. It's certainly going to be a coaching battle of the ages between Justin Longmuir and Chris Fagan. Justin Longmuir's coached this team exceptionally in the second half of the year, like nearly flawlessly. His coaching. So yeah, he's worked this group fantastically this year, and we know Chris Fagan's a premiership coach. So it's going to be an incredible battle in the coach's box, out on the field. One last thing is we have to play off emotion. If you look at Mondays last year when we played finals in 2022, we won our last 3 home and away games against the Bulldogs, the Eagles, and the Giants. Use this Fife retirement to our advantage. There's going to be 58k at Optus. He's going to be sub, and the stadium is going to blow up when he starts warming up. Use the atmosphere, the emotion, the energy to get us over the line. Yes, I'm tipping Brisbane with my head, but my heart and even a part of my head really says that we can win this game and stake our claim on this competition as serious contenders. I'm so excited. I've been nervous and anticipating this game all week. I actually cannot remember the last time I was this excited. I've been excited to watch Fremantle play basically every week this season. Maybe not the week after the Saints game, but basically every week this season, I'm pumped to watch the Fremantle Football Club play. I don't think I've been this excited all season. I just cannot wait to see what happens. Don't embarrass yourself, Fremantle, number one. But number two, go out there and get us a result. Because if we get a result here, if the belief's not already sky high, it will be into the stratosphere. So, very excited. Use the emotion. Fifey's last home and away game at Optus. The crowd's going to come in numbers. 58, 59k. Biggest home and away non-derby crowd ever. Oh, I was about to say get to Optus if you don't have tickets, but the tickets are sold out. So enjoy the game if you're going, no matter where you are, at Optus, at home, watching on the TV. We'll be live for the fan cams after the game. Drews will actually be hosting them this time. He's back from Europe after his 6-week hiatus. So be sure to join the fan cams. And yeah, enjoy the game, Faithful. It's a huge one. Up the Dockers. I'll see you next time.